2, 1. All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of On Beat Off Script. I am Brandito, and I am joined by my colleagues, Mel and Bob. Welcome on in, guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
How are you doing? Well, I mean, technically you have us. You're the one that does all the work. I just apparently am the face, which is also probably one of our biggest mistakes that we've ever made.
Everything makes so much more sense now. Yeah.
But how are you guys doing? How's things going? We're about to dive into another album review of good friend Doja Cat. I don't know them personally. I feel like Doja could be a good friend of everybody's. You know, we're talking about the queen of memes. We're talking about with her new album V or Vi, depending on how you choose to. Yeah. Technically, it could be both, and I'll kind of get into the details about that.
Isn't it French?
Here shortly. Well, because like la vie means the life, right? So V means life in French, as well as it is her 5th album. So V would be 5 as well. See how these... Actually, no, sorry, V might be love.
There's a lot of things.
Well, now I'm not as impressed.
No, love is more. Yes, V means life. Viva Las Vegas. Vive is
life.
Yes.
Live.
There we go.
Life,
yes.
Yeah.
Amala Dlamini, professionally known by Doja Cat, is a rapper pop star from LA who's been doing music since 2012. She started off as a SoundCloud artist and eventually got recognized by RCA, where she finally released her debut EP, Purr, in 2014. She then took a bit of a hiatus until 2018 when she dropped her debut studio album, Amala. She got popular success with her song Moo, which went viral as a meme, but it was the notoriety it brought that brought her into the top 10 on the Billboard 200, and she then went on to drop Say So with Nicki Minaj, which hit the top 100 on her sophomore album Hot Pink in 2019. Her 3rd album, Planet Her, spent 4 weeks at number 2 in the top 200 albums and was the 10th best-selling album of 2021. Most recently, though, she dropped Scarlet in 2023, a more hip-hop focused record, which again landed in the top 5 and spawned the track Paint the Town Red, which was her first solo #1 hit. Where was I in my writing? She is well known for being a remarkable live performance, actually being named by multiple publications for her live shows, specifically, as one of the top live performers in the world. So I'm actually really curious. I had no idea about that. I've never seen videos of her live performances. I kind of want to go to one now.
Yeah.
I've seen some fun clips. I would totally go to a Doja concert.
Yeah, that sounds like pretty wicked. Along with Queen of where was I at? I keep losing my pace as I'm reading things for live shows. She also rocks meme culture. So among her Grammy Award and 19 nominations, 6 Billboards, and so on. So she has been touted as the queen of memes. She's also been touted as the queen of pop rap, kind of taking Nicki Minaj herself as a huge influence in her music. V, her most recent album, and the one we're covering today is said to pull a lot more from kind of 90s and 80s than it is the pop rap of the 2000s. She's been known for, which some more classic hip-hop and R&B vibes, and even some funk vibes to kind of play around with there as well.
Yeah. There's Doja Cat. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's Doja Cat. I was just excited to be able to say that her viral sensation Moo was how she even got big in the first place.
It is so funny. It is so ridiculous.
How did you guys feel about Doja Cat before we go into the album?
I like Doja Cat.
Yeah, she seems like a vibe. I think she's at her best when she's rapping, and maybe not at her best when she's not rapping. But this is an album that seems to try and have a fun time. Whether I had a fun time or not, we'll find out. Yeah.
I like Doja. I also personally like it when she's rapping a little bit more, but I gotta say, she's got some range on here I was not expecting to hear, so I was kind of impressed by that.
Yeah.
You literally never know what to expect with her, so she keeps us on our toes, and I think that's fun.
For sure. Well, let's get toed up. We're gonna open this album up with the opening track, Cards. Let's give it a listen.
Baby, be good to me. Don't care who's with me. Gonna need more sherry. Tryna get in my hosiery. Got news for me. I ain't no employee. Give me that 2 for 3. Or you'll be losing me. You catch it out on the floor. Can you pull my body out the fire?
Oh, it took away.
Wow.
Man.
I wasn't expecting the album to open up with sax. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
I liked the funk. I thought the line calling me Mon Cherie, trying to get in my hosiery, I thought that was really fucking funny. She's funny. She
Yeah.
makes me laugh a lot. I thought she sounded really smooth. I appreciated that we got our rapping in the back half. We were off to it was an interesting start, not what I was expecting, but I was vibing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cool bassy beat. I also enjoyed the second half of the song when she comes in with the rap. I'm vibing. It's a strong start. I wasn't disliking anything here.
Yeah, it's a really jazzy opening. It's right into real dirty R&B funk. This is like very 90s coded on the nose, which I can appreciate a lot. What ends up happening, I think, throughout this whole album, and I think that this review is going to go a lot quicker because of it, is because she came out with a purpose, and it was to have an 80s, 90s infused pop,
Album.
hip-hop album, and she, honestly, with that intention, delivered
Nailed it.
almost perfectly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When it comes to discussing each of the individual tracks,
Yeah.
it makes it very difficult to say something new about a lot of it. So
Cool. I thought that was just me.
No, here's the thing is like she does do a different thing with each track that is still in that same place, but it's still always coming from the same place. And so it's tough to kind of go over things. So a lot of things that I'm going to say, I'm going to sound like a broken record. It's going to be like,
Same.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's not a single little bit of it is bad. It's just kind of it is punching you in the face with this, and that is what it is. The rap section is nice. She obviously has a great rap vocal, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I like this. I wouldn't write home about it, but it's a pretty solid Doja track. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
But that moves us into Jealous Type, which all of these songs probably could be about one another. Let's
really
listen to
could, yeah.
Jealous Type. Did we cover Jealous Type?
We did.
'Kay.
I was actually surprised that you pulled. That was an episode with Garrett.
I
on
knew
it,
there was
think.
something that we had listened to listened to these songs off of, but I could not think of what it was. I also listened to it just yesterday because it just dropped yesterday, and because it was somebody's birthday party at the office, I had just done a tequila shot. So
That's like what you need to get into this album. I feel like it elevates it a lot. I feel like
it didn't
Little
hurt it.
party.
I'll be honest
Yeah,
with you. Let's
yeah.
listen to Jealous Type.
yeah.
So overtired. I will not wait in this line. Never seen you cry. You're mine.
This is one that, for the track attack, I don't think I was fully ready for the 80s vibe, and I didn't think I liked it. I was so wrong. I think this is kind of a fucking bop. I love those deeper vocals. I think those are so much fun. It could have also just grown on me a lot, but I was like, fuck, this is kind of a bop. I think I was a little wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely dives fully into that 80s type of beat, which we get a lot of in this album. I feel like, yeah, as Brandon already mentioned, that's kind of the focus. We get a little bit of Janet Jackson here with the vocals, the deeper vocals. I feel like a little bit of Prince coming through on like the general vibes of this. Again, rap coming in halfway through the song makes me want more of that, and that's another theme throughout the album where there's a lot of just chill R&B and chill pop throughout the first half of the song. Second half, she comes in for a verse of rap, which I think is the highlight a lot of these songs, just based on my preferences. But yeah, another solid song.
Yeah, it's way more synthy, so very 80s pop on that. I can't knock it. It's good. It's very much a Doja track with like obviously generational influence kind of behind it in the 80s pop stylings. Lyrically to start though, I am seeing the same song structure really soon over and over again. The first one is going to be a singing verse, then you get your chorus, then you get your hip hop verse, then you get your chorus, then you're going to have a little outro, then you get maybe a chorus, or maybe it's just going to slowly drift off. It's like the song structure gets to be really consistent throughout this, and I did actually write this album could get boring at this rate. Which I mean,
it's predictable.
It does become predictable. It definitely does. We'll keep talking more about it. You guys will get a chance to be able to hear it. We haven't hit any of my faves though yet. Like, and I do make sure I always pick my 3 faves from the album. I have not picked out a fave yet, so there is still some good stuff to come up ahead. Next up though, we have a track that truthfully sounds like it should have been on the Lola Young record based on the title. It is Man. Let's listen.
The Leroy Jenkins line killed me. It was so unexpected.
Trying to bust all in me like Leroy Jenkins. I wrote it down too. Is the line? Bell is disgusting. For all you WoW fans out there, yeah. Trying to bust all in me like Leroy Jenkins.
Sweet.
Didn't really feature in the clip, but of course the sample is just Knight Rider.
No, I was gonna double check with you because I'm like I'm pretty sure that's Knight Rider.
100%.
Not to date you, Bob. I wasn't around for Knight Rider. So.
Yeah, 1,000% it's just the Knight Rider theme song, and the song starts with the Knight Rider theme song. Like there's barely any difference to it, but I don't know that it works for this song. I don't know. Like it's fun. It's I don't know. It feels like there's too much going on for that sample to also be like kind of layered in the back. But yeah, I'm having fun. It's a good time.
Yeah, this one was fun. My biggest complaint about it is I feel like already we're seeing kind of like a repetitiveness from Jack Antonoff. So like this song, the Amen thing, I can't help but relate it back to Sabrina Carpenter's Man-Child when she does like the hey men, amen fucking play off where it's like, bro, you've already done that for one artist and now you're repeating it here, which like it kind of just annoyed me because they're just so close together. It's like, because it's funny, it's clever, but you've done it once, right? Like, yeah.
I never caught that, actually. I didn't even think about that. You're right, it is Jack Antonoff doing it for both of those artists, so annoying. I get that.
Yeah. I want to like it because I think it's clever. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think I like this song a little bit more than Man-Child, and I really liked Man-Child.
Wow.
And I'm mad that he just did it on both because I feel like it ruined it a little bit.
Kind of cheapens it.
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't know. I'm like annoyed already.
The drawn out Oz, I think were like super 80s hip hop, which because it reminds me of like Freak Out, right? That Freak Out, right?
Yeah.
Spot on.
Like that's what I was hearing basically the whole time I heard it. Not Man-Child, so that didn't ever once even remotely cross my brain.
It's the play on words.
Because I couldn't stop hearing Superfly. You know what I mean? Style hip hop when I heard it. So like I kind of appreciated that because I'm like it is a callback to because 80s hip hop is a lot harder to call back to than 90s hip hop, but she wanted to make this 80s and 90s focus. So it kind of organically is going to end up feeling very 80s pop sounding with very 90s hip hop themes and then moving on. Whereas like this was a chance where they were like, let's go grab an 80s hip hop vibe and see if we can do something with that, so we can still get the hip hop the generation before too. You know what I mean? Which I kind of appreciated a lot in that. Her rap is a lot more aggressive here. Which I think for how the album's been so far, where it's felt very luxury pop kind of the whole way through. I talk about that all the time. Luxury rap and luxury pop being what Doja Cat I think is really, really fantastic for. This is a lot more aggressive, which I like that. These are the sort of change-ups that I am hoping for on this album. This feels nice because when you actually hear the album top to bottom, this is a song that I would get more excited for.
It stands out a
the
lot
second
more.
time because it sounds so unique from everything else, where the rest of it does start to feel very similar.
I agree.
The singing in the clip is also a very 90s person plays 80s, and it's scratching some personal itches. Love those two decades worth of music, so like it felt very nice to me. And yeah, Doja, she just raps her ass off on this one, which I was super with. Like this is one of her best rap performances on the album. But
yeah, this ends up still being one of my favorite tracks on the album, but I'm mad at Jack Antonoff already, and we just started.
Yeah, well, maybe you and Jack should go to couples therapy, which brings us to our next track. Let's go ahead and hit play. I don't practice these beforehand, guys. I promise you. Like,
They're just so natural, yeah.
He's just so naturally witty.
let's listen.
Let me talk to you. Gotta undo my selfish habits. Think I hold that for you, that pain, that stress. Let go all past worries, let's face it. I wanna be the doctor and be the medication. I can't, but I know I'm booking this a vacation again. ADHD and some crazy ass friends. 10 MGs and I do my dance. Cussing you out, you the one I resent. Cussing you out, I delete and resend. Sorry, I got 3 cells, one's 12. Sorry, you gave me hell, once felt. Sorry, honeymoon phase over now. Locking, listen to me, baby. Cause I ain't done talking. We can be angry, but can we be honest? You were so fed up with the same old problems. Got a lot of bags, but you ain't know about it. You love this, but you so ain't know about it.
This one is my favorite on the album.
Yeah?
I'm a big fan of this one. I think it's a lot of fun. I think, again, she's showing some crazy range vocally, like on the album, but like really on this track. Yeah, I don't know. I thought this one was...
That's a great clip pull because I think that was like the best flow of the song, honestly, right there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It was solid on that side of things. Yeah. I really like the slow up here again. That luxury pop spot, luxury hip hop spot. I really like the elongated 90s style R&B backtracks, like how they elongate everything, where it's like bum bum bum. Like that's just like so typical 90s R&B, which I love. Funny enough, I actually complimented Jack Antonoff for this album, and here's where, like quite specifically, this doesn't sound like a normal Jack Antonoff album. What I usually don't like about Jack Antonoff is the way that he makes every single artist that he works with sound so much the same. I know that you're saying because you drew out specifically the Sabrina Carpenter's Man-Child.
That's specifically in the writing. Like, he's not being creative lyrically with that. It sounds completely different, but I'm just mad at the
100% get that. But like for me, I actually think Jack Antonoff does a really good job of differentiating Doja Cat from what he generally does with all of the other people that he's worked with, the Olivia Rodrigos, the Taylors, that he ends up finding something that he likes and making all of them do that, as opposed to what he's been doing with Doja Cat. I feel like he's actually opened up his repertoire working with her, and maybe that's Doja's influence on her.
Yeah,
I was going to say that might be Doja's influence on him and not the other way around. But I like that. Then I like that for Doja. Right? Either way, I think they're both better people for doing this album together. Because this will be commercially successful because Antonoff is just, I don't know at what point he licked some boot that gave him the right to write every #1 single that's ever been produced in the last 15 years.
Did it start with Taylor Swift or?
There had to have been a boot before there. But regardless, like he obviously he has something going for him that seems to appeal to mass commercial success. So I love that for Doja, but he also didn't follow that usual formula on this record, which is probably a good thing for him and his resume. And good for Doja for being like, I'm going to take control of this project. You're just the guy who I know cleans everything up enough to make it go here. And go as big as it can go. So I actually kind of think they both like actually play to each other's strengths here, which is something I rarely say about a guy like Jack Antonoff. But again,
I don't think it's true for every song he's worked with on her in this album. This is just, I really do love this song, and I thought it was good showing from both of them. But there are times where he starts to really fucking annoy me.
I'm curious. Because I honestly, I can't pick out of nowhere, but I can understand. I can understand. Like, the production does get a little bit boring. One thing that I will say is the production on this still ends up very much the same for this. It's just different from other artists that he's done this stuff for. And that was what I appreciated at this point. Then when we hear it's the same production all the way throughout the whole album, this is just where him and Doja finally found, like, okay, we can agree that this is the right spot.
Yeah.
So at least it's different from what he's done for other artists. Because if you took an Olivia Rodrigo album and some of the newer Taylor Swift albums, you wouldn't hear a difference.
No.
You know what I mean? And honestly, Sabrina's Last. I hate to say it, but Sabrina's Last album felt very much like just kind of earlier Taylor Swift, maybe. But like it
had its parts where I definitely agree with you on that.
Right?
Like,
where it's just
Sabrina I think has a quirkier personality than like a Taylor Swift.
She can pull it off in the talking moments. It was the singing moments, the musical moments that I think were just really tough. Right?
Agree.
That takes us into Gorgeous. Let's give this one a spin.
Really look at me. Loaded the magazine. They throwing a book at me. I'm booking at 80 miles per hour cause my jewelry. I'm cooking some collard greens. I ain't got no room for these. Then I got surgery cause of scrutiny. But he like my before and after pictures. He cool with these. I took off the wig and put some mousse on my new 4C. I put on the wig and take it off as I damn well please. I look like my family. I don't need to brag. Titty used to sag. At least she got some ass. Can't avoid the pap. Can't even avoid the cash. Yeah, you beautiful, baby, but you got more than that. Pretty hurts, don't talk to me about Brazilians. After that wax, you thought you wanted to kill him. But now you walking around like you one in a million. He looking at me like he wants some beautiful children.
I love that this is like very like luxury pop vibe, but she's like talking so much about like a dark side of beauty standards, and I thought that was such a cool balance and like dichotomy happening. Yeah, I don't know. I was a big fan of this one. The sax solo keeps, well, I guess we haven't had too much sax yet. At this point, I'm not annoyed with the sax. I do start to get annoyed by the saxophone by the end.
No, I love a good sax.
But at this point, I like it. I think eventually it gets overdone
Sure.
and I start to get annoyed. Like, I want you to do something different.
That's very not Lola Young of you. She wants to have sax pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Maybe that's why I
saxophone.
didn't like it as much as you guys did. Anyways, go on. Sorry.
The beat is awesome. I honestly, it's a good one. I like that.
You're all pop.
Such a funny guy.
The sax is great here. The beat is good. The lyrics, the flow is immaculate. Honestly, in the song, the lyricism I don't care a lot about. Honestly, as a male, I'm not a beauty standard kind of guy. I get why, but it also feels like an empowerment thing for her. Like I look good and I'm going to look good and I don't give a shit what you think kind of thing. I don't know. But,
I like how she calls out, like, I mean, she references her natural hair with the 4C shout out. Like, there's just a lot of cool things that she's doing lyrically that I like the call outs for a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, so like it had this really long sample that opened it up, and I like the slowdown to that 90s R&B spot again. She is handling the genre really seamlessly, kind of keeping like a lot of identity from track to track while showing different styles of it. But again, it does feel like just different styles of 80s and 90s R&B hip hop. So like she's showing different sides of the dice, but like it's all still one die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which gets a little bit old after a little bit once we start getting closer to the end of the album. I do love the way that she handles her singing vocals on this track as a complete departure from her hip hop. Like I think this is one of her best vocal performances because her rapping is very clearly her, and then her singing voice is also still very clearly her, but it's just, they're both really polished and really well put together. I think she does a good job of bouncing back between the two of them. I need to kind of take back a little bit of what I said about Antonoff, because while I was listening to that clip, I actually looked up and I'm like, I need to check, has Kendrick Lamar ever worked with Jack Antonoff? And he did.
He did?
For GNX, which, when I think about this album now, I'm like, oh no, I'm hearing a lot of the production style from
Interesting.
Kendrick, especially the cadencing and the backtrack work is very sounding Kendrick Lamar-ish. But
Ew,
at
is that
least-
why we didn't like GNX as much? Because that's like, it was not a very good showing from Kendrick in
I
comparison.
didn't think so either. I agree with you
Gen
on
X is
that.
great,
So
yeah.
maybe it has something, but like I genuinely, that was one of those things where I'm like, I needed to look it up because I'm like, this is reminding me of like, I could hear Kendrick on this doing Doja's part and it working out the exact same way, and I think that's why I was like, I need to check this out. I think that is the Jack Antonoff taking something he's already done and kind of redoing it, knowing that it works.
It worked with a hip hop artist once, so it'll work with the hip hop artist again.
Correct. And usually he only gets Olivia Rodrigo's to work with. So this is him stepping outside of his comfort zone by redoing the same thing he already did for a different person. But she's a girl. No, Jack. Come on. Stop it. That's enough. Next up is Stranger. Let's listen.
Just casually having an argument with Jack Antonoff in your own head.
I do it with Ryan Tedder every night before I go to bed. So I'm like, let's listen to Stranger.
And I know you're in my life 'cause everything that is our lives connected. And I believe the weirdest ones survive. You're a trip to them and a vacation to me. And God knows you could be a stranger to me. So kiss me like a mirror, eye me like a queer. Nothing you could freak me out. They call us names in everyday praise. We cave, you're braver than you know. You've given so much hope. Yeah.
Maybe the tequila was affecting my recall work. Because this song sounds so much like it should have been on Short and Sweet now. Doesn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, I gave him so much credit, and like now
I
the
was gonna
recall's
say-
hitting me. I'm like, oh
I was gonna
no.
say, I thought a lot of it was very also, okay, so you know what I fucking giggled at, and it's happened a few times now, but like I noticed it specifically making this clip that I think it is so funny how there's such a clear transition from when she's going from singing to rapping because she comes in with the yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like it is just so structured. It's starting
It's
to
super
annoy me.
structured. Yeah.
Yeah, the chorus I thought didn't even sound like her, which I thought was the coolest part. Like she switched up her vocals so much on parts of this that I thought it was interesting. I was like, but maybe that's because I don't know, maybe because
Yeah.
it was meant for Sabrina Carpenter because it literally doesn't even sound like her at points.
Yeah.
And this is where the saxophone starts to annoy me.
That's why.
I could listen
I
to
feel like-
this. The saxophone never once annoys me in this album.
I
I
agree
feel
with
like
that.
Never once.
they're starting to use it as like a crutch where I want it. Like we just start the song with it. I don't know. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
starting to annoy me a little bit, which is making me sad because I also I love a little
Sax, yeah.
sax. I
Who
love a
doesn't love
little
a little
brass,
sax? Yeah.
but
It's a very samey, repetitive beat for me. I'm not having. I this one's not for me, honestly. The subject matter also. This whole song's just about dating a bisexual dude, and how that could be a fun time. So
I think
girl,
it's
you know?
kind of a little funny. I like
Yeah.
how, like, going
Sure.
into this song, I thought, like, it was going to be about how this man is a stranger, not, like, how he acts strange. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot on here that I want to love, and I just can't.
Yeah.
And
I
this is one
wrote
of
this. I literally wrote same aesthetic, same influences, same intention, similar delivery. Like that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's really like
Copy
where we're at with
paste.
this. It's a synthier beat again to reflect the '80s pop R&B spot. My points are all getting to be the same. She does well in whichever palette of that aesthetic she seems to be doing. Like she's not doing anything bad. Nothing is blowing me away though, and
Yeah.
it's just really solid from every second. Nothing's making me want to say like I don't want to listen to it again. that's sort of what kind of makes it perfect in its own way. Like, just the fact that, like, nothing is really turning me off about the album. I don't really think, even if it is repetitive in some moments in terms of the album throughout, because there is, I do need to make sure that I, like, make sure people outside of here understand. When I talk about the repetitiveness, I'm talking about within the album. And then I talk about Jack Antonoff separately from another artist and him copy and pasting over what he's already done before. There's two different ways that I'm calling things not repetitive. So like that's I think that this is repetitive, but it's not repetitive. It's not so closely linked that I could still listen to this album top to bottom and still probably feel the same way about it. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't. There's enough difference between each track that I can appreciate. But it's hard for me to really put notes down about it because the same aesthetic, same influences, same intention, just similar delivery. So like that's where the big change is, and it's kind of hard just to go over how it's delivered differently from the other ones.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're also still pretty similar. Like they're all still really close.
Yeah, it's solid, but it's unremarkable. In general, I feel like having a good time, but I'm not.
Yeah, it's still a vibe.
I'm not like whoa,
Yeah,
you know?
I'm not blown away by anything
not at
on
all.
this. Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on. This is All Mine.
Call the shots just like the boss lady you love. You need something strong enough. You need someone truly tough. So from the wire and grabbing on the clutch. I'm about to bust through and take what still's
I lied. This is my favorite because her vocals here were unreal.
Oh, this is such a joke song to me.
It's so funny. I love it. I like the Conan the Destroyer opening. I thought that was a fun little nod.
It's
GTA
because of her
6
vocals
catching
on
a
this.
stray was so funny.
It's because of her vocals on this. Her vocals are too hard to take seriously. I can't because she gets
I
so
think it's so
wavy.
crazy.
She gets.
But it's
She
it's
does get
just so I don't know. I feel like
It's,
I
like,
haven't
impressive,
heard anything
but,
like it.
It's impressive, but it's so like behind the times, and it's just been done so much that it sounds
Fair.
tacky, and so it's
Okay.
so tacky to me.
I don't
When
disagree.
she hits those, it's just like it's very like
When she hits 'em.
Prince-esque, and
Yeah.
then like it's so like Mariah Carey-esque. Like it's just.
But I feel like no one's done it recently, so I kind of I don't know. I like it.
If it was everything that was going on in the album, I think I could appreciate it as actually what she's intending to do with it. But I actually think she's intending to do the opposite. I think she's kind of pretending to take the piss out of it and just like make fun of that style of vocal, that really wavy high moment, because she's like, this was
maybe.
really funny, and I can show people that I can hit those notes, but like. Also, I'm only going to do it on one song because even I think it sounds stupid. I genuinely think that that's the way that she's treating it. Which, if she did,
Maybe.
then awesome.
Actually, it makes me like it a little more.
I was going to say, like, I can appreciate that because it's super. It is talented to hit those notes.
Yeah.
It's just really funny and hard to take seriously the way you're doing it. So, like,
It feels like an homage to me because of the whole direction this album's going. It's like an homage, and she hits them.
Yeah.
She hits them. I agree. They're a bit wavy and they're kind of funny almost. Honestly, it takes me out of it certainly.
I
But
think
yeah,
that's
it's
I think
good.
that's her intention.
Yeah.
I think she actually
Yeah.
was trying to do it to make fun
Sure.
of that old like '90s
Yeah,
R&B style where she's just like they were kind of goofballs about it. So I'm gonna make fun of them right now.
yeah.
I
And
love a
did that.
goofball. I think
That's kind
I
of her
don't know.
vibe too.
It's
She's
kind
kind
of
of
funny.
goofy.
She is a
Yeah,
goofball.
So
yeah.
I agree with that honestly. Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I think like it's actually intention, and she pulls it off. If she is trying to do it humorously, which she very easily could be because of who she is, it pulls off properly. It's not
yeah.
it's not like Ed Sheeran trying to do something like this. You know what I mean? Where it's like, dude,
Super
like
serious,
you're the
yeah.
most boring guy when it comes to this kind of stuff. There's zero chance you're intentionally trying to be funny right now, right?
Yeah.
Cool. But then we move into a little "Take Me Dancing" featuring SZA. Let's listen.
So what when you so romantic when you fuck me right and then you take me dancing it's lonely out here in this big old mansion and these hills cool up when you take me dancing. Slide, slide, hips, waist, spin,
The song frustrated me.
Because I love SZA, and this was like I was so
So-
optimistic about it.
I came in expecting this to be my favorite track instantly. I love SZA. I wanted more of it. I think he did so much with the fucking layering of their vocals. It got so messy to me. I didn't like that. There was a lot of crazy sound effects happening again where that starts to like take me out. Where like I know you weren't a big fan of the production on Lola's, but I was enjoying the earworms there. Here, I'm getting annoyed by them.
Yeah.
Like they
I agree.
don't feel natural. They just feel so manufactured, and I'm just not a fan of it. And my expectations were so high, and I just was so disappointed.
I initially did actually really like the backtrack on this, but I actually think that they did ruin their vocals too on this one, so I can understand that entirely. So like I actually specifically I did write the backtrack is really enjoyable. I think I like it more than the vocals so far. So I felt the same way as you did. I actually like the style of all of that. It's just honestly, I was waiting for it to pop out and actually like become the song that I was hoping for it. SZA eventually gets it, but it's kind of too little, too late on this track, and that was kind of it. But I was the same way. I'm like, I was really optimistic because I saw a SZA song. I'm like, I love SZA. I'm a fan of Doja Cat. Let's see what they do together. And then it just was like, ooh, when is it gonna do something? And when it finally did it, I was like, all right, whatever.
Just
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's a samey dance song. The whole
Exactly.
subject of it is I'm rich and bored. Let's go spend money and dance. Was the whole it's a throwaway dance song. Yeah, it's fine.
yeah.
Yeah. And then we get a little lip stain. Let's give this one a listen.
Fires on my neck matching his hickeys. Her blood boiling over the hottest nigga who's with me. The cause, I must got a certain je ne sais quoi. Or maybe all the scratches from my claws. I'm never clipping off. These bitches know to never get involved. We ain't got amnesia, you just never get recalled. Sticky situation, so I reapply and gloss over the fact you not a threat. You need to realize your loss. He ain't coming clean, so wipe it off. Girl, I smell like ice cream and pheromones. Girl, every girl's a queen, but I'm the boss. We gotta mark our territory for them dogs, girl.
I smell like ice cream and pheromones, girl.
I like that we're finally getting some French to like tie in the title of the album, because like other than like a little Mon Cherie like nod, we didn't get anything. I thought she sounded the sexiest here in like those verses. She was like really going all in. But it's just okay.
Yeah. The whole song's about just leaving your mark on a man, essentially.
Yeah.
With lipstick
Yeah, I was
and
like,
hickeys
mark your
and-
territory,
mark your territory,
girl.
Yeah. You go, girl. Yeah. It's fine. It's very samey again for me.
Yeah, I again sort of filler R&B. It was a stretch of some misses at this point for me. I'm like, even if SZA
agreed.
killed her spot, this felt like a mid-record slump, I should say. It wasn't changing my mind on the record. Musically, it's good, but then outside of the hip hop components of this in the last few tracks, it feels really inspired. I appreciated that this had more like West Coast kind of roots, especially with her being from LA. Like kind of felt like it had a little bit more of that LA with those kind of dub feelings, like those dub sounds and the bass lines and stuff like that. But yeah, this was kind of a throwaway for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, the highlights continue to be the raps. I completely agree with that. That's the only thing
100%.
keeping these from being
Yeah.
boring.
I really start to kind of like zone out here too, where it's just kind of feeling like a chore to get to the end of the album because everything just
I hate
sounds
that.
the
Yeah.
same,
It
and it's
starts to feel very reminiscent, for sure.
yeah, it's just ugh.
But at least we have some silly fun coming up.
Yeah.
Goofy.
Silly fun.
Fun.
Wake up, smell the coffee, get a grip, boy, this life here ain't no vacation. Put the grapes down in the palm leaf. When you call me wife, you mean that. Dedication and anointing, that ain't no small thing to me. Don't try to play now, you're annoying. Medicate yourself, I'ma keep him outside if he got that dog in him. Boy, I swear if you don't get your ass back here, I'm walking you out. He could hit the club and get fucked up, cause there's no stopping him. Don't you come back crying, talking about you know what you lost, but just get lost again.
Silly.
This was my favorite track of the album.
Fun. It's a
I
great-
would like to point
great
out
track.
that Jack Antonoff
Jack Antonoff did
on
not
it.
produce it, I know.
Yeah.
because this one was this was a nice standout, and this brought me back into the album.
Agreed.
And I was kind of relieved by it a lot.
The hip hop, her cadencing on this is
Oh, yeah, the
so
flow
much
is-
fun.
So good.
It's
yeah.
so fun. Like it's
good.
hard
I love
to knock
her
this.
tone throughout too. Like she's such a fun tone change here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
This was dope. It's a cool vibe.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if it's silly or fun the way I anticipated she was gonna be on it, but like this is a dope track. This was
But
a
I
huge
think
pop
it's-
for me.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I think first off, I think all of my stars are just like a mess because I can't even fucking figure out what my favorite track was. I think I was all over the place listening to this. But I think the silly fun isn't necessarily that like she was intending it to be silly or fun. I don't know, the love bombing. It was all like love bombing. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, love bombing, so silly. Like, I don't know. I thought
It was
I
yeah.
thought it was really, and her nonchalantness about popping out a baby and getting married made me
Yeah.
like cackle laugh.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, the line is, I know it could be a blast to just pop out a baby.
yeah,
I wrote that down because it's
Yeah.
funny.
like this one was. It was a lot of fun. This was a breath of fresh air for me.
This
I
was
got
just,
back in.
in my opinion, this is peak Doja Cat.
Mm-hmm.
She's incredibly talented. She's rapping her ass off, doing a really good job of that. It's a fun track, and like she's keeping people like laughing and smiling while
Yeah.
she's doing what she does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of artists feel like everything has to be a masterpiece because of people like me who sit there and say, you're an idiot if you didn't make a masterpiece. I get that that's like what I do here. But like I've got a
He
huge
calls
amount
me
of
dumb all the time.
yeah, I know, because you've never once put out a masterpiece. You're actually a pretty good artist, but
Not musically.
not musically. Oh
at
God,
all.
no. But no. When it comes to this, like this is peak Doja Cat. This is what I want from Doja Cat. I want it to be tongue in cheek. I want it to be fun. I want it. Yeah. I really
Personality
like this
just
one.
comes through. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a quirky
That's
one.
where she's her best. Absolutely.
For sure, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Then we move on to acts of service. Let's give this a listen.
Don't gotta ask to kiss me no more. It's like parts of a soul ain't missing no more. Yeah, love isn't to be measured, boy. I don't wanna put much pressure on you, but when you kick your legs up, this is home. Walks in the park and probably cuddle. Post stunts on a dick, nobody double. Cute when they call us power couple. Look in your eyes, it's hardly subtle. You wanna do something for me, and I just wanna feel you hold me.
It's my favorite production on the album. This song right here.
Jack Antonoff is also not on it.
Yeah.
The bass is so good, but floaty and like I want to bump this in my car. Honestly, it's a
Yeah.
great song. Great song.
I wrote down, like, even though this is a slow up, either it's the energy from the last track or something different about this is making this a lot nicer. Again, we're going back to that slow up, and does it sound kind of similar? If Silly Fun
Oh,
wasn't
sure.
there, would it have fallen into the same slump that I was already feeling? 100% it would have.
Maybe,
So I think Silly Fun was so important and critical to this album being where it was too, which is crazy. But yeah, this was just a decent track. It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna fall asleep for a portion of this album, and this these last two
Brings it
tracks
back.
brought me right back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was with it.
No, yeah, I agree. I really, really liked this one. I thought it was, her relationship with Joseph Quinn just seems cute. I don't know. I like it. Also, acts of service is an underrated love language.
It really is. It
I don't
really
like
is.
gifts. Do something for me.
Yeah. Wash the dishes.
Wash
not
the
be asking.
dishes.
Yes.
Yes. Like, I love that shit.
Uh huh. Absolutely. Says more to me than anything else in your life.
I agree. Like,
Give me 20 minutes of your time. Make the bed.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah, I love that. Like, whoo, nothing turns me on more.
That takes us into Make It Up. Fuck's sakes.
So vulgar. No.
When I pull this up, and I pop that trunk, can I make it up to you? We don't have to touch, but if we make love, would I make it up to you? Can I make it up? Can I make it up? Can I make it up to you? When I pull this up, and I pop that trunk, can I make it up to you?
appreciating in like this little section is that like there's not too much happening. Like there's just
Yeah.
a really solid beat. She sounds great. I thought this one had a very sexy opening too. Again, I don't know. I'm like appreciating this little section of the album that we're in a lot.
Yeah.
Like it just feels more authentic. It feels more true to Doja.
This is
Yeah.
this is about where I felt like this was slumping again. This felt like part of the mid-album slump for me in a big way. It feels just really 90s R&B heavy, and it started drawing out with repetitiveness, in my opinion. Like, it just I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again as I'm typing all these notes up too. Like, it's hard to say anything about these tracks. But I did say, fortunately, this is the fourth last track, so it really. And I'm not completely disengaged. If this again, if it wasn't for Silly Fun or whatever, yeah, Silly Fun. If it wasn't for Silly Fun, I think I would have written this album off at this point. But because of that breakup, and then Acts of Service was pretty solid afterwards, I'm like, I can do 4 more tracks. You know what I mean? Even if it does feel like it's kind of doing the same thing, at least I had the change up like just in the right spot and just the right kind of change up. Then I'm like, all right, I'm still kind of in. So none of these songs are bad. It's just kind of similar to the point that now I'm getting a little bit,
Fair. Yeah.
you know, tired.
Yeah. I appreciated the simplicity of this one though. I don't know.
I did too. I wrote down another simple but solid beat. Also, she used the line, "I'm a CEO. I'm a see these hoes," which is, you know, top. Great stuff. Yeah,
That is good stuff.
I like this. Not as good as Acts of Service, I think, musically, but it's still, solid. I love 90s R&B. I'm a huge 90s R&B guy, so this is that kind of harkened back to that. I'm like, okay, yeah, great stuff. I love it.
100%. Well, let's try it one more time with One More Time.
It's never easy. We're willingly uncomfortable. I want you to teach me. We're both feeling unlovable. You gotta learn to unlearn it. It's gotta hurt if we're burning. When we get closer, I curse it. Breaking the cycle, I know I deserve it.
I'm kind of out of things to say.
I like this one. This is one of my faves. Had some far out pop guitar, 80s pop guitars, which I was like kind of with. This had the energy I was looking for. Again, to like be able to take me all the way to the end. You know what I mean? I needed a lot more energy like this throughout the whole album, I think, especially that middle section. Now we're shaking, and I was like, cool, I got 2 more songs left in me for sure. I do after that song.
For
Yep.
sure.
The only
I do.
nitpick I have on this one is I feel like the chorus there's a lot going on with the background vocals. It feels like a wall of noise to me. But other than
Could
that,
be.
like the rest of the song is, it's good.
Fair enough. I was just happy that the tempo went up.
Yep.
It did,
Fair,
yeah.
Fair.
It was.
Happy, if you will, that the tempo went up, which brings us to our next song, Happy.
Whatever you call it, oh, as long as you're happy, please. Mon cœur, ce soir, please. Mon cœur, ce soir, please. Mon cœur, ce soir, please. Mon cœur, ce soir. It's sweet, dancing with you in the nude is my niche. Tell me you don't tell her what she told me. Can't be right the way I'm gritting my teeth. Got me sitting at home waiting to hear the phone ring. We got roots and baby they can run deep, but you cutting me off. I feel like ripping this tree, hitting the wall. I fell 100 feet deep. All the bitches involved should know the pimpin' ain't cheap. TLC, I saw, I creep. She's in our bed. I bought the sheets.
She's in our bed. I bought the sheets.
Well, that was a good place to cut it off.
I liked it. Yeah, that was a good clip.
I'll be honest with you, I went so long into this song without writing a note, and all my note
Same.
was, okay, I've been waiting to have something more exciting to say here, but I am not really getting a lot on this.
Yeah.
My only note for this is there's a super digital opening that I don't know. It's like, oh, twinkle.
Yeah.
But that's all I got.
I wrote that I'm kind of over the 80s beats at this point. Honestly, I was. They're starting it very samey. I was getting
Yeah.
on board at this point.
Yeah,
You're right,
I'm pretty
nothing
indifferent to this
remarkable.
one. She spits a
Yeah.
bit on it. It's good. It just feels like she blends into the backtrack a lot on this one,
Yeah.
so I can't really give it too much. So, like, yeah. But then we get to close it all
Yeah.
out with one last song called Come Back. This is all the way 90s, though. Let's give this a spin.
Yeah.
You're overselling to who you know you lost. It's an open sore. Gotta seal the deal. Gotta heal the wound. Gotta be for real. Realize we learned a lesson from loving on one another. Nothing shows more strength than gunning for ex-lovers. Maybe we're best friends. Maybe we're going under. Maybe the world's ended, but baby, I still love you. Gun till November. Gun till you wanna. I can't be your woman, but trust you'll find someone.
Like I'm back home, back home in my elementary school.
It was so 90s.
Yeah.
Like, it's so disgustingly 90s that it just...
With a touch of Doja Cat rap, which again makes it better, I feel like, but there's only so much that can do, I think, when you start doing it over and over and over.
Correct.
And over again.
The rapping
Yeah.
cadence on it was actually awesome.
It was.
But it's a closing track. I never expect a whole lot of them because of what we've been doing as a hobby between all of us.
Yeah.
Whereas there's been so many times the album's been let down by the final track. But it's like uplifting in its vibe, I guess. Of all things.
Hey, got you going.
Yeah?
Because it's just like
Yeah.
the
it's-
one step clap style of, like I said, of what I remember the 90s being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's a tough one. It was just really tacky.
At this point, I was just really relieved to be done.
I was at this point too.
yeah,
I wrote
it
this
was-
as a meh ending. The flow was cool.
Tacky is perfect
Yeah.
word. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm sure it's a good song. It just after the rest of this album, it was very samey and very meh.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm right there with you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that brings us to the end of the album. What did you guys think? What is your in conclusion?
Man, I think this is very much a nighttime / dance album. Like if you're cruising down the street with your windows down playing this album, I'm sure it's a vibe. If you're in the club, it's a vibe. But I think a lot of this doesn't hit as well if you're not in that scenario. I feel like there's some great stuff here. There's some great production happening in some songs. There's some terrible production happening in other songs. But Doja Cat is always a highlight when she comes in and raps. And I think without that, this is honestly kind of a boring album. I coming into this, I haven't heard a lot of Doja Cat's discography. I feel like I've been told she's this super unique artist, and I don't feel like I got a lot of that into this album completely. There's absolutely highlights and absolutely pieces of it, and the lyricism I think is super fun, super silly, but I didn't get out of this what I felt like I was going to get out of it, so that kind of hurts the rating a little bit for me. I gave this overall a 7.1 out of 10.
Yeah. Mal?
Yeah, I thought the 80s spin was like fun, but it got old really quick. She gives big diva energy throughout, but she kind of always does. I love her big diva energy. I agree that often her rapping would come in and save things, but everything just kind of just felt copy paste throughout. And I'm annoyed. Like it's nothing on this is a song that I would necessarily skip if it came on. I could listen to any of it again.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want to put any of it on a playlist. Like there's nothing that truly
Silly
like
Fun
I
deserves to be on a
loved.
playlist.
So, okay, so I'll give you Silly Fun.
Silly fun could be, yeah.
Amen was just
Hearts
fun,
could be
but I
too.
think it just like stood out a lot in comparison. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just all okay. It's a big okay.
Yeah.
Which would equal what kind of number would you give that?
Oh, I gave it a 7.2.
Cool. I thought Doja has a decent little entry here. She's a ton of fun as usual. Pulls from inspiration, but makes those inspirations like really uniquely her own. A talent that's not easy to pull off, especially given some of the artists that we have covered at this point. Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I figure this
It
could.
is. I was gonna say it is sad that like now after doing this podcast, when the bigger the name, the
less
less excited I am to listen to it. Yeah.
Because you feel like
it's-
you're going to get the same
Lately,
thing
yeah.
over and over again. Whereas Doja Cat, I actually think breaks that trend.
Yeah.
I had expectations of what this was going to be. I actually, like, this is my next point and my conclusion. I figured this could be an easy album to slam. But she does a good job of mixing things up. Like, this doesn't sound like every other Doja Cat album. It actually sounds like no other Doja Cat album. And that's impressive for a 13-year career to do that. You know what I mean? So, like, that's huge. It does slump in the middle to the end, but that's okay. Not a single track is bad. They're all solid tracks, and some are even bangers, in my opinion. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it's a good wheel. No complaints for me. I'm not going to go bananas about it, but I always worry for artists that go multiple albums in with success to revert back formulaically, and Doja has found a way to avoid doing it over 13 years, and this is literally no difference from that. I gave this a 7-8. I gave it the same that I gave Lola, because I'm more likely to pick up this album and listen to it again than I would be Lola.
There you go. That's fair.
Fair.
That's
Yeah.
it. Very fair assessment. There you go, Doja Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go, Doge. Tell us what you
Doge.
think. Tell us how you
Doge.
feel about everything, guys. In the comments, why don't you tell us what you guys think? It's just not just our comment section is not just for Doja Cat, as much as we wish it could be. I would just sit down and chit chat with Doja every day of my life.
Oh, I feel like I would love to hang out with Doja Cat. Yeah, she is such
Yeah.
a character.
But yeah, so this is that wraps everything up. Again, tell us, were we wrong? Were we right? Let us know. We want to hear from you. We want you to tell us. Like I said, I know I'm correct, but tell me exactly what ways you're wrong and why you disagree with the right answer. And I'm more than happy to have that discussion in a heartbeat. So please don't hesitate to let us up. But we've got another episode coming up. That wraps up kind of the whole shebang for us. So next episode coming up is going to be October 11th is when we're recording, which means that you'll have
Ish.
things coming out on the 12th.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, but things can also change up because it's been really difficult to get everybody together this fall for whatever reason. Has
Right.
been difficult to get everybody together for. But we're going to be covering a couple of awesome albums that I'm excited to go over. Liminal by Brian Eno and BD Wolf, which I'm so excited after you guys wanted to argue with me about atmospheric music to present to you a Brian Eno album. Now, will it be Brian Eno's top performances? Who's to say? Because it hasn't.
We'll find
it comes out on October 10th, so nobody knows. I also know BD Wolf will probably have pretty heavy influence in terms of how this whole project ends up going. So it probably will not be conventional Brian Eno. But I thought since we argued on Ethel Cain's,
I
Will
have
B.
gone back
Tucker.
and listened to some Brian Eno since then.
I know you have. And was I right or was I right?
It's a very different atmosphere, but it's great atmosphere.
It's about how you layer the atmosphere and put it all together.
Yeah, I
Regardless,
get what you're saying. I just like the atmosphere she creates a lot more. It's darker.
I just don't know if she needed to make atmospheric music for that for that atmosphere. She already did that. She already creates the atmosphere just
get it. I
organically,
get it.
right? We don't need to
get
have
it.
those breaks,
Yeah.
and we don't need to relive that argument either. We follow that up with AFI is dropping a new album, which I knew you would both be pretty excited about.
I'm
with
excited
Silver
about it.
Bleeds the Black Sun. I'm a big AFI guy too.
Yeah.
I do love AFI. So kind of excited for some emo rock. It's not very often that we get a chance at some emo rock. I know you had your Midwest emo, but like real true emo metal. Like let's have some fun with it. And then we would be completely amiss to not cover Miss Taylor Swift.
I
Dropping
don't want to.
on
I literally have her
October 3rd,
muted.
The Life of a Showgirl. Which obviously we're incredibly excited about. We will in no
Incredibly.
way have any kind of weird taste in our mouths walking
I don't.
into it.
She dropped Jack Antonoff, so that could be fun.
I didn't mind this last Jack Antonoff album, so maybe he learned. Maybe he learned something. He was just like, maybe I can't do the same thing over and over again. What terrifies me is who Taylor Swift has in place. You know what I mean? So, who is?
But we'll see.
Hold
Maybe
on.
it'll surprise us. Maybe it'll be the
Let's-
album of the year.
I don't know who she. Wait.
Uh-oh. We're looking this up. Research on the spot,
I need
my
to-
friends.
I need to know who's producing it.
Yeah.
Max Martin and Shellback. Okay. I don't know who they are, but I'm sure I'll find out.
We're gonna
We will
find
find
out.
out. Yeah. Next episode, we'll find out.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out if we like that or not. But yeah, Thank you guys again. Please make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you download whatever. I don't know how you're listening to this or watching it, or I don't know if you're doing it at all. Actually, it would be crazy if you were doing none of those things and still hearing my voice right now. But do whatever you can to tell us that
Subscribe
you
on
appreciate us.
YouTube.
That would
Yeah.
be appreciated. We would love that.
It's
and
free.
like I said, leave comments. But yeah, we miss you. We love you. I'm Brandito. This is Mel and Credibob. One more episode of On Beat Off Script in the books.
Yeah,
Appreciate
we
you
did it.
guys, and we'll catch you around.
Love you all. Bye, guys.
Bye. 3, 2, 1.